There are moments in life when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear. Times when the laughter fades, the light dims, and the heart aches in silence. When life is hurting, it can feel as though the walls are closing in, and every breath is a reminder of what has been lost or broken. But my friend, pain is not the end of your story. It is the place where your strength begins to rise. Every one of us walks through seasons of suffering. Maybe it's a betrayal that cut deep, a dream that died too soon, or a loved one taken before their time. The truth is, no one is immune to pain, but pain is not your enemy. It is a messenger, reminding you that you are still alive, still capable of feeling, still capable of rising. When life is hurting, the question is not, why me? The real question is, what now? What will you do with the pain? Will you let it destroy you, or will you let it shape you? You see, some of the most powerful people who ever lived were born out of brokenness. Their greatness didn't come from comfort. It came from the fire. Pain has a purpose. It refines you. It strips away what is unnecessary and reveals what is eternal. It teaches you compassion, patience, and faith. It breaks your pride so you can find your purpose. It reminds you that your strength doesn't come from the absence of struggle, but from your ability to endure it with hope. When life hurts, it's easy to feel alone. You may look around and see others smiling while you're barely holding it together. But don't be fooled. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. The strong man who never cries has his own tears he hides in the dark. The smiling woman has nights when she prays for peace. You are not alone in your pain. You are part of a great company of people who have walked through the valley and found their way to the light. There is beauty in broken things, because broken things can be rebuilt. The cracks in your soul don't make you weak, they make you human. And through those cracks, light enters. When your world shatters, don't curse the pieces. Use them. Build again. Build wiser. Build stronger. Sometimes the healing doesn't come overnight. Sometimes it's a long road of tears, prayers, and unanswered questions. But every tear waters the soil of your soul, preparing it for new life. Every scar tells a story, not of defeat, but of survival. Remember this, storms don't last forever. The night may be dark, but the dawn always comes. And when it does, you'll look back and realize that the pain you thought would kill you actually gave you new life. The wound that once bled became the place where wisdom grew. The heart that once broke learned to love more deeply. So, if you are hurting today, hold on. Don't rush your healing. Don't despise your pain. Sit with it, learn from it, and let it make you better. You are not finished yet. You are being shaped for something greater. Something that cannot be built without breaking. Life may be hurting, but you are still here. And as long as you are here, there is hope, there is purpose. There is power in your perseverance. Lift your eyes, wipe your tears, keep walking. Because even in your pain, there is a promise that out of your deepest hurt will come your greatest healing. And when you rise again, you will shine not in spite of your pain, but because of it. When life is hurting, don't give up. Lean in. For it is often in your lowest moments that you discover the highest truths, that you are loved beyond measure, stronger than you think, and destined to rise from the ashes with a purpose that pain could not destroy. Hope is stronger than hurt. It's a truth that may sound simple, even cliché, but when you've been to the lowest valley, when your heart has been shattered and your tears have run dry, you learn just how powerful those words really are. Pain may knock you down, but hope is what helps you rise again. Hurt may whisper that your story is over, But hope speaks louder, saying, there's more to come. In life, hurt is inevitable. People disappoint us. Plans fall apart. Dreams fade. Sometimes it feels like the world itself has turned against us. The weight of loss, betrayal, or failure can crush the spirit and blur our vision. But no matter how deep the pain, there is something within the human spirit that refuses to be defeated. That something is hope. It's the quiet belief that tomorrow can still be better than today, that wounds can heal, that hearts can be restored, and that meaning can emerge even from misery. Hurt often tells us to give up. It convinces us that nothing will ever change, that the light is gone forever. But hope, even in its smallest spark, is powerful enough to push back the darkest night. Think about a seed buried deep in the soil, surrounded by darkness, pressed down by the weight of the earth. Yet somehow it pushes upward, breaking through the surface, reaching for the light. That's what hope does in the human soul. Even when buried under the heaviest pain, it grows quietly, persistently, until one day it breaks through. Hope doesn't erase pain. It doesn't pretend that everything is fine when it isn't. Hope acknowledges the hurt, but believes that hurt is not the end of the story. It's the bridge between what is and what will be. When you hold on to hope, you're not denying your pain. You're declaring that your pain will not define you. There are times when hope feels distant. Maybe you've prayed and nothing seems to change. Maybe you've tried to move forward, but life keeps pulling you back. In those moments, hope isn't loud, it's a whisper. It's the quiet strength that says, one more day. Just hold on one more day. And somehow, when you do, you find that the next sunrise brings just enough light to take another step forward. Hope doesn't always come in grand gestures or sudden miracles. Sometimes it comes in the smallest ways. A kind word from a friend, a moment of peace after a long night, a memory that reminds you of what still matters. Hope is not always a roaring fire. Sometimes it's a flickering candle. But even a candle can light up the darkness. The truth is, hope and hurt often coexist. You can be healing and hurting at the same time. You can be unsure and still have faith. The presence of pain doesn't mean the absence of hope. In fact, hope shines brightest when life hurts the most. When everything falls apart and you still choose to believe. That's real strength. That's the kind of hope that transforms lives. There's a power that comes from refusing to give up. The human spirit is far more resilient than we realize. You've survived moments you once thought you couldn't. You've faced storms that should have broken you, yet here you are, still standing. That's proof that hope has already been working in your life. Every time you chose to get up, to breathe again, to love again, that was hope in action. Sometimes we look for hope in big, dramatic ways, but often it's already within us. Hope lives in the decision to forgive, to try again, to believe that something good can come out of something painful. Hope lives in the heart that refuses to let bitterness take root. Hope lives in every person who chooses love over hate, faith over fear, and progress over despair. When life is hurting, it's tempting to isolate yourself, to shut down and give in. But hope thrives in connection. Sometimes it's the words of someone else, someone who's walked through their own pain. That reminds you you're not alone. There's strength in community, in reaching out, in sharing your story. Because when you do, your pain becomes purpose, and your healing becomes a light for someone else's darkness. Every hurt leaves a scar, but scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you survived. Each scar tells a story of hope, of the times you could have given up, but didn't, of the nights you cried, but still woke up the next morning. The beauty of hope is that it doesn't promise a life without pain. It promises that pain will never have the final word. Hope is stronger than hurt because it changes how you see your pain. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" hope helps you ask, "What can this teach me?" It shifts your focus from suffering to growth, from loss to purpose. Hope doesn't remove the storm, but it gives you an anchor within it. It reminds you that even when life hurts, you are not powerless, you are being prepared. And when the hurt begins to fade and healing takes its place, you'll see how every tear, every trial, and every heartbreak shaped you into someone wiser, braver, and more compassionate. You'll see that hope didn't just carry you through the pain, it transformed you because of it. So, if you're walking through pain today, remember, hope isn't gone just because life hurts. The same way dawn follows the darkest night, hope is waiting just beyond the sorrow. Don't give up when you can't see the way forward. Sometimes, hope asks you to walk by faith, to trust that the road you're on, though painful, is leading somewhere beautiful. Your hurt does not define your destiny. It's part of your journey, not the end of it. Every struggle is shaping you, refining you, and leading you to something greater. And when you finally rise, because you will, you'll discover that hope was never about avoiding pain. It was about believing that pain could be redeemed. Hope is stronger than hurt because it's eternal. Pain fades, wounds heal, storms pass. But hope endures. It's the quiet flame that keeps burning even when the winds of life try to blow it out. It's the promise that no matter how hard life gets, there is still beauty ahead. And that is the truth that carries the human spirit through every trial. Hurt may last for a moment, but hope lasts forever. Brokenness leads to strength. It's a truth that sounds simple, yet it carries the deepest meaning for those who have walked through pain, loss, and disappointment. In life, we all face moments that break us, moments that shake our confidence, silence our laughter, and make us question whether we'll ever feel whole again. But what if those very moments of breaking are the beginning of something far greater? What if the pain that shattered you is actually preparing you for the strength you never knew you had? Brokenness is not the end. It is the beginning of transformation. When something breaks, it exposes what was hidden inside. And in the same way, when life breaks you, it reveals your inner power, your faith, your endurance, and your truth. Most people fear pain because they see it as a sign of failure. But pain is not punishment. It is preparation. Every great story of triumph has a chapter of struggle. Every strong person you admire has walked through a season of breaking that taught them who they really are. When you are broken, you learn things you could never learn in comfort. You learn humility, the understanding that you cannot control everything. You learn empathy, the ability to feel deeply for others who are hurting. You learn gratitude, to see beauty even in small things. You learn faith, to trust that there is meaning even when you can't see it. It's in the breaking that life begins to teach you its most powerful lessons. Think of a seed buried in the ground. It must break before it grows. The shell must crack open for life to emerge. In the same way, your pain may feel like the end, but it's actually the beginning of your growth. The breaking of your heart may be the birth of your purpose. The loss of what you once depended on may be what drives you to discover your true strength. Many people try to hide their brokenness. They cover their scars, bury their emotions, and pretend that everything is fine. But strength doesn't come from pretending you're not broken. It comes from embracing your brokenness and choosing to rise anyway. The strongest souls are not those who have never been hurt, but those who faced pain, walked through it, and came out wiser, softer, and braver. There is a beauty in broken things. When a piece of pottery cracks, some artists fill the cracks with gold. Japanese art called kintsugi. The idea is that the object is more beautiful for having been broken. The cracks become part of its story, part of its identity. In the same way, your brokenness can become the most beautiful part of your life story. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are symbols of survival. When you let your brokenness teach you, it becomes your greatest strength. It teaches you compassion for others, patience with yourself, and the courage to start again. Sometimes we have to lose everything we thought we needed to discover what truly matters. Sometimes God allows things to fall apart so that something better can come together. The truth is, strength is not built in ease. It is forged in struggle. A tree that grows in calm weather may look tall, but it won't have deep roots. It's the storm that forces the roots to grow stronger, deeper, and more secure. The same is true for you. Every challenge you've faced, every tear you've cried, every disappointment that tried to break you, they all built roots of resilience inside you. You are stronger now because you have endured. And even when the pain feels unbearable, remember this, you are never truly alone. Many of the greatest hearts in history were shaped by sorrow. They turned their pain into purpose, their grief into growth, their wounds into wisdom. You have the same power within you. What broke you can become what builds you, if you choose to let it. But strength is not about never feeling weak. It's about standing again after you've fallen. It's about walking through fear and doubt, yet refusing to give up. It's about saying, I may be broken, but I am not defeated. Every time you rise after falling, you prove that brokenness doesn't define you. Your resilience does. So, if you are in a season of brokenness right now, take heart. This pain will not last forever. You are being molded, shaped, and prepared for something greater. The cracks you see as flaws are actually the spaces where light can enter. Don't hide them. Let them shine. Let your story be one of hope, that even in your brokenness, beauty was born. One day, you will look back and realize that the things that hurt you most were the things that taught you the most. The nights you thought would never end became the foundation for your faith. The tears you cried watered the soil of your future. The times you felt weakest became the very reason you found your strength. Remember, brokenness is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It is a passageway to wisdom and a bridge to deeper strength. You are not ruined. You are being rebuilt. You are not lost. You are being found. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared for something more powerful than you can imagine. And when you finally rise, when you look at the scars that once brought you shame and see them as marks of survival, you will understand that brokenness was never meant to end your story. It was meant to begin a new one. Brokenness leads to strength because it leads you back to what truly matters. Your heart, your faith, your purpose. It humbles you, strengthens you, and refines you. It teaches you that strength is not the absence of pain, but the courage to keep moving forward in spite of it. So don't despise your broken places. Embrace them. Let them remind you that you are human, that you have lived, and that you have endured. Let them be the proof that even when life tried to break you, it couldn't destroy you. You are still here. You are still standing. And because of that, you are stronger than you have ever been. Brokenness leads to strength, not because the pain disappears, but because you learn to rise with purpose, to love with depth, and to live with faith that no wound can take away. The breaking was never your end, it was your awakening. Pain has purpose. 3 simple words, yet they carry the weight of a lifetime of truth. When we are in pain, it's hard to believe that there's any meaning behind it. The heart screams for relief, the mind searches for answers, and the soul wonders if it will ever feel whole again. But hidden within that ache, behind every tear and every sleepless night, there is a lesson, a message, and a quiet transformation taking place that we often don't recognize until much later. You see, pain is not an accident. It's not a random punishment or a cruel twist of fate. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers. It breaks through the illusions of comfort and pride, reminding us of what truly matters. When everything is going right, we rarely stop to reflect. But when life hurts, when the ground beneath us shakes, that's when we begin to listen. Not to the noise of the world, but to the voice within. Pain has a way of stripping away what is unnecessary so that we can see clearly again. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has known pain. The athlete who wins a championship trains through exhaustion and injury. The mother who gives birth endures hours of labor. The man who rebuilds his life after losing everything does so with tears in his eyes and determination in his heart. The truth is, greatness is born out of struggle. Comfort never created strength. Ease never built endurance. It is only when we are tested that we discover what lies inside us. Sometimes pain comes to redirect us. You may have been heading down a path that looked good but wasn't right for you. And suddenly, something happens. A closed door, a heartbreak, a disappointment. At that moment, you feel like your world has fallen apart. But what if that pain was protecting you from something worse? What if that rejection was actually redirection? Pain often pushes us toward our true purpose when we would otherwise stay where it's safe. Think about gold. Before it shines, it must go through fire. The flames don't destroy it, they purify it. The same is true for your life. Pain is the fire that refines your soul. It burns away fear, ego, and doubt, leaving behind strength, humility, and clarity. You may not see it while you're in the middle of it, but every moment of suffering is shaping you for something greater. The very thing you wish to escape may be the thing that prepares you for your destiny. We live in a world that runs from pain. We seek comfort, distractions, and easy escapes. But if you spend your life avoiding pain, you'll never grow beyond where you are. Pain invites you to dig deeper, to find the courage and faith that comfort cannot produce. It teaches patience when the answers don't come quickly. It builds empathy for others who are hurting. It awakens gratitude for the blessings we once took for granted. There is also a mystery in pain, the way it humbles us. When you've been broken, you see the world differently. You no longer look at others with judgment, but with understanding. You become softer, kinder, more real. Pain teaches you to listen with your heart, not just your ears. It reminds you that everyone is carrying something unseen. And through your own suffering, you learn how to bring comfort to others who are walking through their valleys. Sometimes, the purpose of pain is not for you alone. It's to equip you to help someone else. The comfort you receive after enduring your darkest hour becomes the very thing that allows you to speak hope into someone else's despair. The wisdom you gain in your season of tears becomes the light that guides another person out of their darkness. Pain connects humanity in ways success never could. But to see the purpose in pain, you must be willing to trust the process. You have to believe that your story is not finished that what feels like an ending might just be the beginning of something better. You have to hold on when everything in you wants to let go. Healing doesn't come overnight. Sometimes it comes slowly, in quiet moments of courage, when you choose to get up again, when you choose to forgive, when you choose to hope even with a trembling heart. There will be days when you won't understand why you're hurting. The path will feel dark, and you'll question if there's any point in continuing. But don't give up. Every struggle, every scar, every sleepless night is a part of your preparation. You're being strengthened for the next chapter of your life. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the pain you thought was breaking you was actually building you. Pain has a purpose because it reveals who you truly are. It strips away false strength and forces you to lean on something greater than yourself. It reminds you that your worth isn't found in what you've achieved, but in who you become through adversity. When you've walked through pain and come out on the other side, you carry a peace that no one can take from you, because you've learned that even in the fire, you are not alone. So when life hurts, don't curse the pain. Don't bury it under distractions or run from it in fear. Sit with it. Ask it what it's trying to teach you. Let it change you, refine you, and make you stronger. Because pain has a voice, and it often speaks the truth we most need to hear. You may not see it now, but there's a purpose behind your tears. Every hardship, every disappointment, every heartbreak is shaping your heart into something more resilient and compassionate. One day, you'll thank the pain for what it taught you, for the courage it awakened, for the humility it grew, and for the faith it restored. Pain doesn't last forever. Healing comes, light returns, and when it does, you'll realize that the pain you endured wasn't wasted. It was the soil in which your purpose began to grow. Pain has purpose, and through it, you are being prepared for a life far greater than the one you thought you lost.